My name is Nicolle Burke. My nickname's Nikki. I'm 25 years old. I'm a single mom of a 2-year-old boy named Riley. I am the product of two people that didn't know each other, that were not ready to have children. My mom and my dad met in the Philippines. He's in the Navy. She's a registered nurse. He was gone every 6 months out of the year, so they didn't really get to see each other. And my mom had her own personal issues, which in turn affected my life in a really negative way. 4 years old is when I specifically remember my mom getting real physical with me. I think she's probably a little bit bipolar, maybe. I'm not sure. I haven't really quite figured it out, but I've stopped trying. I try to keep an okay relationship with her, try to keep it okay, but she was just a very unhappy person, and I could tell she wasn't ready to have me, and took out a lot of her anger on me. She would, punch me and kick me and slap me, and it was just every day. It was walking on eggshells. There was never a happy moment. My dad was gone, so he wasn't there. It was just me and her and my younger brother. We didn't have any supervision or anything, and out of the random, she would just come out of her room and just decide to slap me across the face, or she was just crazy. It was just not a nurturing environment. I was very scared. I had trouble sleeping. This one time in particular, I was young. I was using the restroom and I got bored, and I was cutting my hair, and I cut a little piece of it off, and I went out, and she asked me, she was sitting in the kitchen, and she asked me if I cut my hair, and I lied. I said no, I didn't. And she knew, because she went back to the bathroom and saw the pieces of my hair. And so within a matter of minutes, she just grabbed a pair of scissors and hacked my hair off. She just took my hair and just chopped it off. That was really traumatizing for me. I specifically remember that time because I had really, really long hair, and I had to go to school the next day with hair that was from here to here, and I couldn't tell anybody the reason why. I feel like my teachers should have noticed. They should have recognized how smart I was and that my grades were slipping. The signs were there. I remember thinking as a kid there was nobody that could have helped but my neighbors and my teachers. But the teachers are number one because they spend such a big amount of time with you. There was one particular situation where I was helping my brother take some rice out of the dishwasher. He had a plate, and it ended up clogging the dishwasher, and that turned into this really big thing with my mom. She was just not in a good mood, and she had him scooping it out one by one with water, and that would have taken forever, and it was 10 o'clock at night, and he hadn't done his homework or anything. He had school the next day. So I told him, I said, I'll do it for you, just go take a shower and go to bed. And she was sitting on the couch, and she said, no, he has to do it. But there was no real need for him to have to do that. It was more of a control thing, which I thought was unnecessary. I felt the right thing to do was to have him just get out of there and go take a shower, and I'll handle it. And she got really upset that he listened to me over her. That was a sign that I specifically remember, that he went and took a shower, and she had already told me no, so she took a glass and she chucked it at me, and it cut my hand. And at the time I had hair dye in my hair. I was dyeing my hair, and I had a towel on. And because of that, we started arguing, and she kicked me out of the house in a towel. And I was I remember being about maybe in between 12 and probably 14 this happened. And I stepped outside, and all my neighbors were guys. So there's 6 of them next door playing basketball, and I had nowhere to go. I had to go outside. I went and hid by the trash cans by the side of my mom's house, because I didn't want them to see me. Well, the ball ended up flying by where I was, and my neighbor that was the same age as me saw me, and I had just told him, I just said, I need you guys to I need you to get your guys out of here so I can go to my neighbor's house, which was one house over from ours. It was my mom's house, the neighbors playing basketball, and then the house I needed to get to, so I couldn't run across the street with my towel on. So he got everybody inside. I went to her house. She said that she couldn't believe my mom did that, and that she was going to call CPS because she had talked to my mom, and my mom told her what had happened and that I wasn't allowed back in there. She didn't follow through because she let me know that if she called CPS, that my brother and I would be separated. And at the time, I knew how bad things were at home, and I knew that it was it was just not gonna be better for us together to be separated, because it would create a whole new line of problems, because that's just such a complicated thing, you know. So I told her not to, but she knew, and she had to talk with my mom, but you know, things didn't really change. There's steps could have been made to not prolong it for so long, because I went through this for a long time. That was just the physical and verbal and mental abuse. I got sexually molested by her father when I was 11. No, I was in the 7th grade. It was right after. I was like 12. It was when we moved back from Spain. My parents divorced. My dad made us go with my mom. Even though I knew that was a bad decision, my dad's thought process was, his thought process was, she was unhappy because she wasn't happily married to him. So he really felt that all that stuff would stop. We'd have a much better life when he wasn't in the picture. I kind of tried to downplay what was going on as much as possible, because I knew that in some situations, like, some kids were getting it way worse than I was. Even though I knew that what was going on with me wasn't okay, I knew other people had it worse, and I just dealt with whatever I could. Things would just come my way, and I would just have to handle it. And it's hard talking about it. I don't talk about it. It's like years and years of conditioning to think a certain way. You can't just undo that. You can learn to manage it and kind of recognize what it is and move on from it. But as far as like ever fully relearning, that's a really conscientious effort. It doesn't just happen overnight, you know what I mean? It's hard work, but that's the first step, is to just understanding like what's going on. Like, I had to keep a secret. My whole life I've had to keep all this stuff in. Nobody really knows that I've gone through this stuff, because it was a lot of stuff.